Good morning, everybody. Good Sunday morning. And I have found out that I have to check my pots for my new babies. I like to look at them at least once a month and see what they've got to say to me, see how they're doing. And it was June 9th when I did the video with the new ones. And they're doing so good. And I think I left the tag for that one. This one is just getting a new shoot. But looks healthy, no wrinkled leaves, no accordion leaves. So I'm happy about that. And they're in bark, so I'm not too worried about them, even if some people use other things. For me, I'm better off. I don't worry when they're in bark. And I want to show you the other ones because they came in moss, and I've slowly been picking it out, but I haven't looked at them since June 9th. So that was a long time ago. And before I get really going, I want to thank Lisa and Susie for the very nice donations. I'm not going to read the whole list now, but when the video comes and we're working on giving away of all the rules written out, there's lots to do behind the scene. Making sure the paint is very dry before shipping and banging around in boxes, and same with the glue for the misters. So everything is going really good. We're still looking at, by the end of July, something will be given away. And as long as there's money in the post, we're going to be giving things away. We got 6 misting things from House of Hydro, so we'll be giving away 6 bowls. We don't know exactly when, but it'll be happening. So the other thing we have to talk about is we talk to each other and we communicate. And sometimes when you communicate with people, it's a hi and bye, and you don't really get to know them. And other times, you get more into your own life story and theirs, and you become a closer family. And this is the same with our pets and our plants, because our pets and our plants are both always communicating with us. And when they know us really good, they're very good at communicating with us. And for example, when we got Maggie, we always used a neck collar on her. And we felt that it was uncomfortable. And so we changed it. We changed it and we put her on a straight harness. And it's weird. Maggie loves going for WALKs. She loves going for them. And all of a sudden, we would go down and get her things out, and she would run and hide. She did not want to, So we thought, well, this is weird, And we're a little slow. We weren't paying enough attention because this went on for a week maybe, and we thought, this is strange. Because they love it, but they don't want to put it on. And we say, well, you can't go without it because it's not safe thing to do. So then one day I'm looking at her and she had a little tiny sore. And I'm thinking, oh, now when we got a new one that when we walk her, it's got the collar and the harness. It doesn't put pressure on the neck or here. It's a really good one. So all of a sudden, all happy. She was talking to us, and we hadn't really noticed. luckily we did in time, or we just would have said, huh, that dog just doesn't like to, you know. She's there, isn't she? And the other one just happened a few days ago. It was really hot, really, really hot. I don't want to go on about the weather. We're all got weather events happening or life events, but anyway, it was really hot that day, and we have a back door out onto the cool patio, and a fellow came to look at the windows. I don't have any answers yet, but he was to see if they can make two. And so we were on that patio because he was measuring something out there. And then we wanted to go to look at the windows. So we went down the stairs, and Maggie's up on the top, and she barks. And when I turn and look at her, she looks from me to the door we came out to the house. And I thought, well, that's weird. And she kept doing it. And so I thought, well, that's strange. She won't come down. She always goes down those stairs and comes with us that way. In fact, if we're sitting out on that patio, she goes back and forth by herself. But she wouldn't have nothing to do with going down. And she kept looking at the door we came out. So I thought, okay, you know, I didn't want to miss what was happening about the windows, so I picked her up off the top of the stairs, and I took her with us. But it dawned on me after, because I went out there in bare feet one day, and those little cement walkway paths are so hot and probably would burn her feet, and she probably knew that. So she wouldn't go down the stairs, and she wouldn't go down walk on them, because I was out there one day in my bare feet, and I had to grab the hose and hose in my feet, and it took quite a while just so that I could stand it. So anyway, we have to listen to our pets. They talk to us so many different ways. It doesn't matter what pet, but if you've had your pet a long time, you know how to communicate with them, and they quickly learn how to communicate with you. They can't talk, just like our plants, but they do communicate. So now the plants, when if you were to Google search new information 2020 on plants talking to you, plants having feelings, there's been lots of new research on it, and it's definitely been proven many years ago, but the new research is very good. So I always look at my plants, and I'm sure you do, and talk to them, and they know. They get used to a certain person. They know they have feelings too. They sense if an enemy's coming. They sense if something's chewing on their leaf. They know all this. They have been on this earth a long time, and they survive. So anyway, I like to look at mine, and usually I don't wait this long. But because it's moss, and I'm not fond of moss, but because they're babies, I wanted to slowly graduate them. And in fact, maybe the next orchid, I often said, when you repot one, you can leave some moss in or something for a crutch to help it over that initial shock. And maybe I should do that on my next big orchid that comes in moss instead of the straight over, but I would definitely do it. So anyway, what I want to do is I'll show you a close-up of this one first. Oh, she's got two, but this is Suturina. This one goes in here. Niltonopsis. Oh, that's that one. I knew I had one I was looking up on the internet, but now I got it right. This is Felshriana, I cannot pronounce it, and she has a new leaf, and that's a good sign. I see a little root poking out here, but what has been bothering me is I've been watering these probably every second day and probably every third day for these, and what's bothering me is I did go back and look at the video where I picked moss out the last time, and that was on June 9th was the last time. And I know there was still quite a bit of moss in there, and it's scaring me. So I thought, new leaf or not, I gotta remove a little moss, and most of it was left around the rooting system, real close. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. You know what? I would rather check than say, okay, it has a new leaf. Now, it's talking to me that it's happy. It's got a new leaf. I see some roots there, but I just want to make sure. And I will be going to just bark because that's how I prefer to grow. So I'm just going to dump some out. And I'm just going to, if it wants to sit in that pot and stay there, I'm going to let it. So, the moss definitely holds it damper. Okay, are you staying there? Maybe. Okay, it's damp on the bottom, but I rinsed them this morning because today is Sunday and I watered on Tuesday. I watered a little early on Tuesday because instead of my usual day, Wednesday, things were dry and very hot and very smoky, and I decided to check that. So that's why this is wet. Now, let's have a look. Okay, I'm going to make sure I give you a good close-up. If I get the right angle. Okay, that's this side. And things are looking good. I'll have a closer look in a minute. And then we're going to look from this side. And some of its roots are very happy where they are. Some are attaching to the bottom of the pot. So, there's some moss on the bottom. And there's a little bit of moss. This might help some of you if you're getting a new plant. You're worried about it. So this is what I do. Now, and besides, all I've had is no name, but looking at all these pictures on the community channel and seeing all these different orchids that just aren't available to us here, they've been tempting me so badly. So, here's inside the pot and how much moss is in there. It's not a lot of moss in here, but it's sprinkled through. So, I am going to pick some out. We'll use this nice little dish. I'm going to pick some out, and we're going to have a look at how much I'm picking out, because I want to do this switch over. I'm more used, when they get bigger, of course they'll go in a bigger pot. So far, they're good. Now, I'm not leaving much. Whatever's in with the plant, which isn't much, there's a clump. Okay, now it is very sparse in here. I want to get this right. Okay, it's very sparse. There is some in here, but it's very sparse. And this is what I've taken out this time. So I am getting there. It is not that drastic shock. And the good thing is, the roots closer to, and I want to raise it up a little more in the pot. When I first got it, I kept it lower to help keep humidity around it. But all the roots that are at the surface, because the bark is dry, and I haven't had moss on the surface, the new roots that are coming, they are hardy. They're more aerial roots, and they can take a little bit of bark going on them. So we're getting there. So far I'm trying to get it a little bit higher in the pot. There's at the bottom of this pot, even though it's all enamel, quite often with these enamel orchid pots, there's always pieces that's like straight terracotta, and I noticed one of the roots had stuck. They love to cling. And one thing I have learned, do you remember the big traffic cone that I was so stuck to? The roots had come outside, were stuck and stuck, and I put it in the tub, and I tried to get all the bark out and everything. Well, I pulled all the roots and everything out and dislocated it from where it was clinging. I don't think they like that. That orchid talked to me for quite a while after that, and I have learned that roots that are attached, they want to be attached. And believe me, when you unattach them, they know it, and they will have a form of stress. So, from now on, when I've got roots attached, I'm not going to play with them. I'm going to leave them. If I'm doing the traffic cone, I will just shake everything out that has to come out and then put new bark in. I've done that a couple times since, so it's just what I've learned. So now I knew I was going to need a little bit more bark because I'm raising it. And what I did was I stole some from the top of the basket there because I didn't have any soaking. So I probably might be stealing some more before I'm done. So at the top, and quite often you notice that you'll say, oh, it's so dry, it's absolutely bone dry on the top. That is a good thing, because those roots that are growing up there, they're getting very hardy and strong. And if you go away for a 2-week holiday, like some people have told me they have, and left nobody watering your orchids, and you come back, you are amazed how well they've done. They might have new growth, and sure, something, maybe some flowers fell or something. They are very hardy, and they are hardier than any other medium where the roots are growing. And if they can take stress more because they've grown up, tough and hard. If you come from a tough, hard family life and you've grown up, boy, you really appreciate the good things. And you grow up strong, able to deal with the curves that life wants to throw at you. So, okay. Now, this isn't getting any more watered. Some things are damp, some things are not. And now a close-up. It's just bark on the top. And that's how it was. There's only a smidgen of bark in there. And I will keep an eye on it, what it wants to say to me. I'll show you where it's been after. So, that's okay. Sherianna, we'll put that tag back there. And Sheila, she gave me I have to do it, but when I got the last new ones, Sheila told me she always writes the date on the back. So I haven't done it with these, but I'm going to go back and do it because it is a good idea. It's a very good idea. So anyway, fellow Sherianna, I know. Okay, so this is good. This one will go over here, and after it goes back and it's home. Now, Alfina, I remember her name without her tag because I was looking up information on her, and very hard to find, but she's doing so good, but I still want to look. I don't see any roots peeking through down here, and I remember she had a lot of moss around the bottom. I left quite a bit. So, blooms or not, we're going to look. Also, some people are saying, don't cut the spikes on this. There's very little information on these out there. But look at a second one, Kate. They're so pretty. Mom comes upstairs and she just loves these. And look at the roots. These are the healthy roots. That bark is dry most of the time. I do miss them every day, just slightly from above, and the pot. Always miss the outside of your pot if you're in a dry area, because that roots know, and they go down, 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 looking for moisture. And what I did with this one is the spikes were staying so low, and I had a tiny little butterfly with a piece of a floral stake, kind of a green, and I glued it on the end, and I just lightly put it in there to hold that up. But I'm going to have to take that out. I know that they don't like to be disturbed, but we have to make sure things are right. And sometimes you're not going to notice it. Like, they will do strange things. They will send flowers out. They'll still strange leaves. They're trying to survive against all odds. You don't know what's happening in that pot. So I would rather check than not. And like I said, just these two have been way over a month, and I left them in bark. And I'm not good with bark. I had lots tried, so let's see what's happening in this one. If it's clinging. Well, there is a lot of moss in this one. I'm going to give you a look before I go any further. You can see. Okay. I'm trying not to disturb it too much. There is a lot of moss in this one. And I'm going to take some out right now. Okay. Yes, it's happy, but it'll be happy. It'll adjust. There's another one. Whoop. Always on the floor. Okay, now I haven't seen right to the bottom, and the roots aren't going right there. Okay, this one's loose now. So, what have we got? We got roots clinging to bark, and I'm leaving them. And I see no sign at all of problems. See these little ones? They're the top ones. Those are the top ones that are going to be, they're already adapting. They've grown without moss all around the neck of the plant. They're always draining near the neck of the plant, so we're not going to get crown rot, because I don't keep anything around the crown. I make sure the water is leaving. So the pot looks good, and let's see. This one had kind of long bark, and I'm going to leave a few pieces in there, and I'm going to kind of break it up a bit. Okay, so we got quite a bit of bark out. And this is how I mix this one. There's still some in here, not overly. Now I have to add some to the bottom. Most of the moss is going there. And I know, well, we'll find out how much it bothered it being taken in bloom. But what do we know? Our plants know we love them. They know that what I'm doing, it's like your child or your dog has a little sore or something. And sometimes you have to hurt a little bit to help a lot. So they know this plant is used to me. It's used to my voice. It's used to me touching it. It knows. And so I don't think there'll be any problem. And I feel better removing all that moss. Now, they're just slowly adapting to bark. And it's going to be very curious how this, how this goes. It's a whole new environment, but doing it slower. But all those new roots you saw coming, those are the ones that it'll already be fairly stable with those new roots. And if it loses some that just couldn't take the change from the moss to the bark, well, if it loses some, it won't matter as much because it's growing so much new roots. Those are the ones that are gonna keep it going. So I'm gonna stake those. Actually, they look a lot happier because they're higher in the pot now. And they were just hanging down in the bottom. I need to steal a little bit more bark for this one. But I am loving these. So this was the one that I got free. They wanted to know, they did send an email and they said, keep in touch and let us know how you're doing, because they know I like bark, right? And so I'll have to do that. I'll have to send them a little email and show them. So we did our job. We'll see if it bothers them by the next video. And we have a hibiscus tree in the front. And not many people in Salmon Arm have them. I've had it for quite a few years. And during the real original hot spot, some of the flowers just dried to a crisp, turned brown. But now it's been like we're getting mid-30s mostly. But we had a couple nights where the smoke was so heavy you couldn't open the doors at night, and it just about killed us. It was horrible. So anyway, things have been nicer. The birds are even chirping. They weren't chirping before, but we keep making sure we give them water. So what we're going to do is we're going to go for a little tour out the back, round to front, to show you this hibiscus plant. So let's go. Okay. You want to see how I do this? Trying to get things right. So I'm so happy. I just love these. Just beautiful. There's our path. We picked raspberries this morning. We came out right after breakfast. Oh, isn't this beautiful? Oh, boy. Oh, it's the nicest day we've had. It is gorgeous. Last time I took you over to the garden. Now I have to go to Kamloops for an appointment on Monday morning. But next week I gotta make some relish. I hate bought relish. And I have so many cucumbers hiding in here. And I have to get that done when I come back. Some might be a little big by then. So, anyway, I haven't been to Vernon in a few years. So there may be some orchids over there. So the tomatoes are doing better, peppers. We're eating green beans over here. We're eating fresh beets, beet tops. So, yes. And the cantaloupes and melons are growing. I'm just going to let them grow out here if they want to. So, okay, off to see the hibiscus. Oh. You know, when it was so smoky all day, we couldn't see any mountains, lakes, and it made you feel sick. But that's our peach tree. So much nicer. Yeah. There's still many, many, many fires, but the wind's blowing the right way today. You stay. You can't come. I can't want you. Okay. Making sure we keep water for the birds, especially the little chickadees. And they've been here lots getting water. Mom said, you got it? Show them the hibiscus. So, can't really see when you're outside. Apple's coming. Okay, we're almost there. No barking. Okay, look at this. It is just beautiful. And it grows right beside that hedge, and that hedge must just draw so much moisture. But it's beautiful. It is beautiful. You can see it from the road. So, and of course, remember when we did all this rockery here, the geraniums have been through all this smoke and weather too. These quite burnt. Lilies, they got quite burnt. Sometimes we come and just sit here. This is my sit one. Someday someone will move in this house when we're no longer here, and they'll be hauling her away on the back of a pickup truck.